Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, of course, towards the Sanctuary League. We are here in week two, and we have an incredible matchup for you here today. We have Assassins in Greed versus Monkey Esports. And because of how fantastic today is, I can't be the only person taking all this coverage for you. So I have been joined here, as of course, my color caster for today. We have Black Wolf. How are you, man?
I'm doing quite good. I'm pretty excited to be casting today. Sounds like a pretty interesting matchup. What do you think about it?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of things to talk about. Of course, I have a little bit more knowledge of this Assassins and Greed side because I've played with a few of the players like Geordie in the top lane, Trouble Bubble in the mid lane, somebody known very much for their Zoe, for their Zoe. And the main thing we have to talk about as well is that Assassins and Greed coming into this game are going to be heavy favorites. Of course, both teams are 2 and 0. Can Assassin's Creed pick up another victory here to be the clear favourites of 3 and 0? Or will Monkey Esports come in and stop them in their paces and go 3-0 themselves?
Sounds like a very interesting matchup in that sense. Will we be expecting any priority picks? What do you think about
Well,
this?
it's super difficult because when you think about leagues which are focused more around the emerald and diamond category, you have to be thinking about what are people most comfortable on. We hear Trouble Bubble, you think instantly of that Zoe. Geordie in that top lane loves a little bit of that in best, and maybe that's going to get taken away. So it really comes down to what people put high priority on, as both of these teams have a very different play style. As a side of Assassin's Creed like to mostly play for the mid and top laner, so expect counter picks over there. While on the opposite side, you have Sergio Ramos, who loves to just play for themselves. So Monkey Esports, maybe their style is getting their jungler a lead by having a good matchup.
Sounds like a match we can look forward to at least. Two different teams styles, two different styles of play. We can see it swing either way. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. Looking at the teams, though, I am curious to see bans because you mentioned the Ambassa and stuff. So
Yep.
I'm curious to see if those kind of champions will be taken away to relieve some pressure from a top lane, or if they will let them pick those champs and put more pressure on the supportive jungler you mentioned to get him off his comfort, maybe make sure that the solo laners can't get ahead as much.
Yeah, and when I was looking at how one of the teams likes to play, Sergio Ramos, he has been playing a lot of Viego that we talked about being these hard, aggressive junglers, but they've actually pivoted recently to enjoying that Maokai jungle a little bit more because they pair it up with something that's hard scaling like the Smoda, and they can just focus on the late game. And maybe that's the reason they have won so many, so that they can stall out these games till late, and then Smoda completely takes over. So if I'm on the side of course, the Assassins agreed, maybe a Smoda ban, maybe getting away that Maokai as well could be very high in priority for me.
Yeah, but I think the Maokai, if you ban away the Maokai, it's more likely that it will pivot towards that aggressive jungler because even if you ban away the Smolder, I also see that he played a lot of Samira. I don't know if he played it in the league, but that's what I'm seeing from his profile. So even if you ban away the Smolder, they still have this very strong team fight champion that you can play towards with a Maokai still.
The difficult thing with that though is with Samir it's a champion that the whole team needs to play around, and you need the enemy team to not have easy CC. They pick an Alistar, a Rel, maybe even a Braum into you. That Samira goes from super effective to not very effective at all. So if they want this Samira pick, they have to wait to maybe R3 or R4 before picking that champion. And as well on the opposite side, we talked about the Smolder, said about how very powerful it can be. There's actually one champion we haven't talked about at all, and that is the Kog'Maw and the Seraphine that Assassin's versus or Assassin's Agreed can play towards that bot lane.
That's very true. I just noticed that we're going into draft. We're seeing the first few bans. The Smolder has already been banned, so I think they want to. Yeah, the Smolder is that big of a late game security that you want to ban it away because even if you like do very well early, the Smolder can still hit his stacks and all of a sudden carry a team fight. So it's smart of them to have banned it away.
Yeah, been playing a lot in the solo queue. Having that off the table means that Ezreal has gone high in priority. But Assassin's Creed going for less of a supportive jungler, which we were expecting. It is going to be that Viego locked in. Of course, needs to find a reset with the help of the team Syndra, a lot higher in priority for them towards the mid lane. But on the opposite side, plenty of counters towards the Viego. Zingzao, one of the most popular out there. Maybe even something like a Vi can work as well.
Yeah, but also the Viego been taken away from Monkey Esports, one of their more comfortable picks, as you just mentioned. So maybe that's also a bit of their strategy to not only ban away some of their champs, but also pick away some of their champs to put them on a more uncomfortable pick.
Yeah, these type of leagues, comfortability is number one in King. So Zhao going to be locked in. Who are they going to be picking up next? AD carry usually, but instead is going to be that mid lane of the Ari, able to get push pressure at level 9, and most importantly, steals away that Ari from Assassin's Creed. As if you're able to hit one charm, the Viego's absolutely able to blow you up there.
Yeah, denying that Ari pick from the Assassin's Creed is, I think, it's pretty smart from the Monkey Sports because, as you just mentioned, one Ari charm can lead to an incredible snowball from the Viego. Except they're hovering. They pick the Zoe actually, which also can get the same value as the Ari charm can, just with a little bit more of a delay on the bubble.
Yeah, but Black Wolf, you're forgetting. What's the name of this mid laner? It is Trouble Bubble. Of course, Zoe's going to get locked in. They have that possibility. So now with the mid jungle picked up, I expect AD carry here. There is a possibility of just a random Cassante spam because he is absolutely busted.
There
I
he
could
is.
just read him like a book.
You know the players very well, I see.
Yeah, maybe in a better on the opposite side if they want to, stick to the meta.
I think Mbessa could be a very good pick, but I don't think that Pobla really plays it. If I'm expecting something from Pobla, I'm more expecting like a big juggernaut champion because that's what I know him for. And they're hovering the Samira, what we were talking about earlier,
I did
without like a Maokai jungler.
Yeah, I talked about R3 or R4 about the possibility of having so many bans that you can take away a lot of the champions to make Samira awkward. Braum is one of the highest capabilities of that, and the Alistar as well. But my biggest problem is you can just pick maybe a Caitlyn into it with a Rel as support if everything gets banned away, and you can still be in a very comfortable position. So far, with that Samira locked in, I'm massively favoring the side of Assassin's Creed in these first three picks.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree on you with you there. Uh, it's so for the current champions that we're seeing, it's not that easy to stop the Samira, but they still have two picks, and there's plenty of champions open who are still very good into the other champions that MonkeSports has picked. So I understand their thought process, but if you wanted to pick the Samira, maybe they should have saved it for a bit later.
Now, the thing is, they don't really have a lot more choice to try and go for it because they really want Samir if they draft, and it was most likely to get banned away in this banning phase we see here. So, if they try and last pick an AD carry, you're clearly doing something wrong, as counter pick in support is the major thing. So, maybe the actual thought process is okay, we get the Samira now, we pick up our top laner on R4, let the enemy team pick then, and then we have counter pick on support to give Samira the best matchup in bot lane possible.
That's very true. Although you do see Samira almost always with an engagey type of support. So if you're going on theme wise, then I don't expect to see a enchanter really. Although it does work with the Zins though. But on pure bot lane basis, I don't think like many enchanters work well with the Samira, do they?
Yeah, it's really difficult to do. I'm thinking maybe something like a Jana if you want to have the disengage tool of the ultimate, the Q for the knockup to give Samira her passive easily. But to be honest, I still think you pick top lane here. You've already seen the Cassante, Gwen very high in popularity against it. But instead, you talked about the bruisers, more of the tank specialist on Monk Esports. So Mundo would kind of fit that.
Yeah, Mundo is one of his signature champions, as far as I know. He also plays a lot of Volibear and yep, there is and Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser being banned away, so he kind of being forced towards Mundo or Volley. Volley, they can have a really good side lane with this team comp I'm seeing right now. As I don't think Asante can properly match the Volibear in the side lane, but that really just depends on how the mid game plays out.
Yeah, we had conversations about what should you ban away for the Samira to have an enjoyable lane. For me, number one pick had to be that Braum. Of course, Poppy, a champion, which stops those dashes as well, makes sense. But them thinking that this Varus was going to be a lot more popular, the Braum gets locked in. And now any AD carry that does a lot of auto attack works here. Caitlyn, very high in priority, has of course that range advantage over Samira. Something that I enjoy is the Ash into it as well. And Assassin's Creed, unless they pick Jin here or an AP carry, I think this matchup looks incredible.
Yeah, it looks really, really, really good. And like we mentioned before, they kind of have to lock and engage with it. And Brown also kind of shuts that down. If you pick an engage now as well, the Zaya, her ulti and her disengage potential with her E route and just the sheer amount of damage she has, one trying to kite backwards instead of forwards, it's going to be really rough for the side of MonkeSports in this draft, in my opinion.
I'm absolutely loving the hover there. I really wish that it was the elite support, but sadly, we're only going to get the bare basics with the rail lock in. And when we look at this bot lane matchup, it is horrendous for Monkey Esports. I wouldn't want to be down there, at least in a 10-foot radius of that Zion and Brom. And even when we take a look back and look at both of these teams comprehensively, Black Wolf, I'm being honest, I think Assassin's Creed have absolutely dominated this draft.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. The entire theme of Assassin's Creed is completely countering the theme that MonkeSport went for.
But remember, both of these teams are 2-0 Monkey Esports, coming from a place which we're expecting them to maybe be 1-1, maybe 0-2. But they're here 2-0, and they were against very fierce opponents. So if they can win there, maybe they had similar draft, maybe this is comfortability, and that is the number one key. So Monk Esports versus Assassin's Creed. We have about 3 minutes that we can talk about these drafts, go a little bit more in depth on what we think. And the more I look at it, the more I'm absolutely loving the Assassin's Creed. But we talked about these side lanes a little bit, didn't we, Black Wolf?
Yeah, we started talking about the side lanes with the Volibear, like I said earlier. Volibear has a really, really good side lane. I think that's one of the only real things that Monk still has a slight advantage on this side lane. But that's only if Cassante doesn't get some help from the Viego and gets. If Cassante gets the smallest lead, then it's already going to be really rough for the Volibear.
Yeah, because Sante is one of those champions, very stat stick like, where if they have enough damage to kill you, lane's completely over. But if Volibear has enough with his W on that second stack, giving him so much healing, Volibear can completely run over this laning phase and the whole game. So, Black Wolf, if you're on the side of Monkey Esports, how are you going to be trying to play this game then?
What I assume Monkey Sports are planning to do is the like even though you have a Samira and you want to normally play for towards a Samira, I think their win condition this game is going to be heavily around top side, getting these grubs, getting top ahead. So what I assume is going to happen is Ari's going to try and shove wave because Ari's early wave clear is, as far as I know, better than Zoe's with
It is.
the Q. So Ari shoves wave, try to rotate towards top. Xin Zhao, very good early skirmisher, and I just think they want to try and get this Volibear as far ahead as they possibly can. Try to get some grubs, so he's just chilling in the side lane. And even though you don't really want to leave a Samira behind, I think they kind of have to because you're not gonna get any real value ganking this Brown Zaya. It's also very hard to gank Brown Zaya as Xin Zhao.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. The big thing as well is there's a possibility of maybe having Samira roam up with the team and the Vel, but then it starts getting really a lot more difficult because this Braum champion is the thing that's bringing Assassin's Creed pick from maybe a 50-50 to a 70-30 at this point. This Braum champ, if he's in these 4 versus 4, I heavily favor the side of Assassin's Creed. So they need to try their best on Monkey Esports, keep him down there, play towards the top side, and more importantly, get a lead for the Volibear or Ari. Because I'm imagining in my head, we get to a situation, it's 20 minutes in, it's a 1-3-1, your Volibear's already on their tier 2 tower, Ari's just roaming around the map however she wants, finding these pickoffs with the team, and that's the way Monkey Esports can win this game.
Yeah, I kind of completely have to agree with you there. If this Brown is gonna go roam upwards, then the team fights are kind of just won by Assassin's Creed unless they do something really really bad.
Yeah. Now,
Mm.
I want you to close your eyes for a second. Everybody in chat, please do the same. I'm gonna let you imagine Monkey Esports' team with the Zing Zhao, the Ari, the Volibear, and the Vel, but instead we just slap an Ezreal there. Then that team comp looks absolutely fantastic into the sides of Assassin's Agreed.
Yeah, it already looks way better in that sense. But then the question is, would
Are they
Assassin's Creed
comfortable?
have played Braum and Zaya if they picked an Ezreal on R3 instead?
Okay, probably not. I'm gonna be honest. We'll probably get a more hard engaged support like a Nautilus locked in, maybe the Vel on their side instead. But that's the big thing about the Samira pickup is I really want to see how well it is piloted because you're giving up so much agency in the draft by saying, okay, we believe in our Samira so much that you can have counter pick against us in this bot lane against the Samira, and we're still going to be good enough to win this game. And the only reason I have confidence that they can pull this off is both of these teams are 2 0, and you don't get to this situation having bad drafts and not being able to execute them.
Mm, fair, yeah, that you got a fair point there. If you got 2-0, then you
Okay, if
have a
they're zero
pretty
two, I'm gonna put my hands up and say, guys, we might need to go to the drawing board, but we can't say anything if they won every game so far.
yeah. It can also depend on how you execute, like mostly how you execute, because you can draft something not that good, but if everybody's on a comfortable champ, it's gonna go fine probably. So I'm very curious to see how they're gonna play this because, as far as I know, like I know two of them very well from MonkeSports side, and I know Pobla is on a champion he's very comfortable on. But Pat's the other one I know, so the mid laner. I don't know if Ari is really up there in his comfortable champs. I don't see him play it very often.
Now, let me tell you about Assassin's Creed. Their mid laner, Trouble Bubble, very popular, of course, on towards the Zoe champion. Their support likes more of these melee hard engaged champions. Braum kind of fits that wheelhouse, of course, not as much engaged, only really have that Q and that ultimate for that. But the main thing that I want to talk about, and of course, our featured matchup of this game, is going to be this jungle matchup of the Viego versus the Zingzao. Because Linus behind the scenes was telling me about how Monkey Esports jungler Ramos or Sergio Ramos, he is a very aggressive jungler. He loves to absolutely play for himself, try to get everything to find that lead. And he's on the Zingzao, and that champion just can't carry them through. So we're going to have to see a different adaptation from him. While, of course, on the opposite side of maybe somebody who is mostly playing for the team, likes to support everybody as much as possible, but he's on that Viego pick. So it feels like both of these two players have completely swapped their playstyles.
Yeah, sounds about right. Xin Zhao especially in this team comp is not going to be the carry. Like Xin Zhao can only be real carry if you have like two enchanters maybe. Then Xin Zhao can start carrying something, but how much is that Xin Zhao carrying? But in this team comp, Xin Zhao is not going to be 1v5ing. Xin Zhao is not your win condition. Your win condition is this Volibear's tight lane, and somewhat to some extent is Samira, like normally in this team comp. But even into the team comp from Assassin's Creed, I don't think Samira is going to be your win condition. So this Xin Zhao really has to play for his win cons, play to give the kills, which he normally doesn't do, like you mentioned. While Viego on Assassin's Creed side is also completely just playing a different playstyle than he normally is.
Now,
Because what is normally his champ pool?
well, his champ is a lot more of that supportive play style. We talked about the Maokai before, something that he can pick up, play for the team if needed. But a question I wanted to ask is, what happens if Sergio Ramos on this Zhao gets 4 kills? At that point, you have to say, sure, you can carry the game. You're strong enough to be able to 1v5 almost if Rome isn't there. And that's the big thing. If they are so good at this champion, if they're so amazing at scaling towards this late game, it doesn't matter if on paper they're not going to be able to carry. It's not like they're playing a champion like Rel, which is physically impossible to do. Xing Zhao's still a champion that can have those 1v1s. And that's so crucial, is that Xing Zhao in the early game, and of course later on as well, actually wins the 1v1 against Viego. So maybe even if he can't find the lead to carry the whole game, he could at least put Viego behind.
That's very true. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna happen. What do you think about pathing right now? Since we're not into the game yet, so you think they're gonna draft from top to bot, from bot to top? Anything specific you're expecting?
Well, it's difficult to say. I think I would say Assassin's Creed have to play for this bot side. Get Samira super far behind, play around your Zaya, play around your Zoe, and just start stacking these dragons. While on the side of Monkey, I think their biggest focus is if Samira doesn't die early, you find a lead for your volley bear, most likely, you'll be in an incredible position as we are going to get ourselves into game. Both teams are 2-0. This is a best of two series, so they can draw if they want to. And I love this already. Assassins and Greed already coming out with some early game tech, trying to invade the enemy jungle with this Braum.
We're seeing something very aggressive for so early on. That's the sound of a Zoe bubble hitting.
Yeah, it's going to be able
Cleanse.
to land. Delph already getting the stun as well. Flash going to be taken already out of UV. More importantly, Cleanse used as well. We talked about Samira having a difficult early game. Now it's got a much worse without those summoner spells.
So Miro without summoners this early on is gonna have a really big trouble, and Rel is going to have to stick to bot lane now. We talked about Rel maybe going to like roam upwards early, looking for something. Samira having to play safe, but with Samira missing both summoners early game, Rel kind of has to stick to bot lane now.
Yeah, well, 100% has to stick around towards the spot lane. But take a look at what the side of Assassin's Creed are doing down here. They're actually trying to death push. They've already got two summoners out of this Samira. Maybe if they can find something more in just a second, this completely crack the game open.
Yeah, I think this is if this succeeds, I think this is gonna be determining how this entire laning phase can go.
Yeah, we'll have to see. First couple auto attacks going down, but importantly, not finding that stun on Braum passive means they're not going to be able to find too much early on. Still, a decent bit of poke in the early game.
Yeah, already being zoned like this. Oh, good trade from Zoe actually.
You can
Like
already see comfortability.
yeah, true. But being zoned this early already from your wave and just being this aggressive because you're missing these summoner spells can be really detrimental for a champion like Samira who needs the levels.
And the thing they need to worry about for Monkey Esports down bot lane is they're trying to stack these waves to let it crash and bounce back into them. So if the wave is not near the tower for Samira early on or at any point in this game, there's an easy opportunity for the Zyra and Braum just to try and run down the Samira. As Samira's a champion which is very burst focused. Once that ultimate comes through, there's all your damage. Afterwards, it starts getting difficult.
Yeah, and we can already see one thing that we were talking about earlier is Viego is pathing towards his bot side, going to play for his Zaya and Braum, while Xin is pathing towards top side, going to play probably for his Volibear, I assume at least. But botlane has a better setup wave for that kind of play.
And I'm expecting both top and bot lane to be really trying to get both of their HP bars down as low as possible. As towards the top side, if they can get Geordie half, maybe even towards a quarter HP, Sergio Ramos easily could be able to pick up a kill there, and it goes exactly the same in bot lane. Get the Samira low enough where maybe can come in and look for that gank.
Yeah, we're already seeing a lot of things we were talking about earlier, and as well this Ari with the trying to shove in a wave gets instantly bubbled. We can see a lot of comfortability already on the Zoe with the way she's playing against this Ari. I think she has more experience with this matchup than Ari does. Because you
Yeah.
can already see that in the way they're both positioning and both walking forward.
But it's the funny thing about like, does anybody play Zoe if you're not a Zoe main? Of course not. And for that
Nope.
reason, Trouble Bubble a lot more comfortable. Looking for a little play towards the mid lane, seeing if a sleep would land for the kill. But instead, nothing's going to happen. A quiet early game for now. Both junglers there with 28 on the creep score. Looking for a play towards mid lane, but it's so difficult. Trouble Bubble trying to find that instant engage, but it's so hard to find it.
Yeah, one thing you just said, which is completely right, is the fact that.
We
Oh,
need to hold it for a second. Engage coming on towards maybe trying to look for a way out here. Has the flash available. Does get you. Sergio Ramos coming in. Flash again. Even with the drowsy. Finds that first blood onto Ari. And Monkey Esports are on the board.
getting the Viego flash for 2 of your own flashes, and but you, at least you get still the kill. With the feats of strength being changed to first 3 kills, it's a little bit less valuable, but it's still a very good kill, especially on this Ari who can maybe go shove harder now.
A couple trades towards the bot lane, nothing too much to come off it. But the big thing that we noticed is that there was a ward placed earlier on by Patarina in that lane. So the whole time maybe was there looking for that play. They knew, but made sure not to get seen, as there will be a play towards the bot lane. Smear already going in, has of course that passive available, doesn't get hit by the trouble bubble just yet. Flash in again from the Zing Zao, but gets hit by the roots. He goes down towards trouble bubble. Now it's just a 2 versus 3, and there's nothing they can do. Second kill goes over. Flash forward, Q getting nabbed by the Braum, and a triple kill going over towards trouble bubble.
Zoe getting 3 kills this early. The Ari got 1, so she got a little bit ahead, and now Zoe just got a really big... Nah, it's not necessarily a lead already, but hitting the Lost Chapter this early in a laning matchup, especially against someone who's constantly shoving wave into you, is really huge, because now you're not going to be struggling with mana as much as you normally would.
Yeah, another big thing as well is maybe in towards the mid lane, I was able to catch that whole wave. So even though there's a 100 CS lead, 100 gold lead, it doesn't really matter. But Trouble Bubble will land. It's going to be able to get away for now. Patarina trying to stay a little bit too long. Engage coming in from Sergio Ramos, but not hitting that W means that maybe he's able to get out, or can he? Azrael will be trying to go over, but the Hextech flash misses. So Assassin's Creed getting away with the skin of their teeth in the mid lane play.
That Hextech flash barely not reaching over the wall.
That hurts as a support main.
That hurts as a support player, but it should be a real big relief from that Viego, because if Viego died there again, and Xin got some pressure in the jungle and got some extra camps, I think it would have been really detrimental for him at least.
But the important thing is they were able to bully out, maybe allowing themselves to start up this dragon without any contention coming out from Assassin's Creed. And even though they found the lead early into this game, they haven't been able to capitalize and get any of these objectives.
Viego is already starting the grubs, or is he clearing the vision right now? It's hard to see from the minimap, but Viego can start these grubs, and we talked about this in Champ Select, right? The grubs can be very, very important for the side of MonkeSports, because they want to be playing for this kind of split push. So for Assassin's Creed to get these grubs early, it's already a big... I think they have a big lead on the objective, mainly because that's the objective MonkeSports would have really liked to have. While this dragon, I think first dragon is not that important right now.
Yeah, I could agree with you there. Sergio Ramos hovering towards his bot lane, trying to make sure that his bot lane can push this in full safety. 9, he's there, but they may be looking for a little bit more. Remember, Samira, ultimate available, already got towards that C rank, needs to stack up a little bit more to get towards that S. Yet again, just waiting in the bush.
Yeah, this is not something we expected for them to play this heavily for the bot side, because we were talking about how we were expecting more to be played towards top side from MonkeSports, but they're not really doing that, not even in the slightest, actually.
Now, I think there's a thought process you can have here with thinking that, okay, Volibear will always win against Cassante early game, mid game, and even towards the late game. So we'll just let Pobla have his winning matchup, let him do whatever he wants towards the top side, and we'll mostly focus about trying to save our Samira. We know it's a difficult matchup. If we can get her even or ahead in this lane, there's a big possibility where the whole team is just going to be a lot better in that way compared to if a Volibear was ahead, as Cassante's a champion, which, no offense, he can be like 5 levels down, 3,000 gold behind, and still be useful.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of stat stick champions for you in that sense. As long as they're having some stats, they can just hit you and probably get at least a kill from it.
Zaya has that ultimate available now, going to be a lot more difficult for MonkeSports to find a play towards this bot side. So there could have been a possibility where Sergio Ramos thought, okay, Zaya's ultimate is the big way that they could stop us from engaging. I'll try and make these ganks happen before the level 6 mark. And after the level 6, I can focus more towards the top side and see if I can get my Volibear a lead.
Yeah, but even with that thought process, if, like, for example, on this stage of the game, the Cassante has the big...
Nice chunk. Big engage towards the mid lane. Patarina trying to get Sergio Ramos in, but not being able to find that charm. Not going to get it. Trouble Bubble having to use that flash to look for the kill, but Patarina using the ultimate out to safety. No aggressive, you have to say, from Assassin's Creed. Trouble Bubble just freely giving away his flash.
Oh, the Sleepy Bubble connecting on the Ari doesn't really kill her yet. Ari not having Spirit Rush at this moment of the game is gonna be a little bit rough because it's not on that short of a cooldown right now, and they still can look for a lot of plays because Zoe has this Dark Seal. Zoe wants to get ahead, and if Zoe gets a few more of these kills, especially because it's a
Yeah,
champion he's
another play
comfortable
towards the
on.
bot lane. S rank coming through. Ultimate available. Hasn't used it just yet, but it doesn't matter. With the Viego down there, finding themselves the one shot. It's another play towards the top side. Jordy is just going to be able to walk out to safety. Monkey Esports being very aggressive in this early game.
Yeah. But this is something we didn't really expect them to, and it's not really working out that well either.
Yeah, Ultimate's going to get used towards the top lane from the volley bear, getting himself out to safety. And Samira thought that they were all alone against Desire, thinking that they can maybe flash over the Ultimate, make that outplay. But now, not having that work out, Viego being nearby, means that they've died yet again. And this goal of trying to help Samira in the early game is really starting to fall flat.
Very, very much so. Like, if Samira doesn't get something right now, I don't think Samira's gonna be getting anything in the next 10 to 15 minutes. And Volibear being actually pretty far behind right now. He's 40 CS down. He doesn't have Stormbringer up. Wakasante does have All Out. It's thing that any of the lanes are very happy at the state of their lane right now.
Yeah, top lane could have had a slight lead here, but it's very difficult in towards Cassante with the amount of damage he can just pump out by existing. And secondly, you can see already having that healing reduction against that volley bear, meaning when he tries to go for these longer trades, something that would before be absolutely amazing for him has now become even more difficult. As his Assassin's Creed already started up these void grubs, got one of them looking for that second one, draw him up here, and a fight might try and commence. But I think Monkey Esports just too late for this.
Yeah, they're kind of late with it. How do we look at the feats of strength? What? Assassin's Creed got the first 3 kills, got 2 of the 3 early objectives right now. So they're looking at they're looking at feats of strength very soon if MonkeSport doesn't change something about their game plan, and I
Yeah,
don't think they
Dragon.
really can.
Dragon, definitely a possibility for them. You can really see AEG looking to try and move around him. Maybe they can get there in time, but it's just so difficult when it's already been started. Maybe trying to walk in, poking around for this vision. 3-0 on towards the Zoe. Bubble will land. So we're not able to tank it. Does it kill? And it does. Trouble Bubble with the solo. Bolo in the mid lane, meaning that Aegis get themselves the feats, get themselves their dragon, and they are just dominating this game.
Yeah, this game has already been swung heavily into the favor of the Assassin's Creed. And this Zoe, I think this Zoe is going to be really, really annoying, especially for the Samira now, because Samira doesn't really have that much to stop getting one shot by the Zoe, except committing a really, really big cooldown, which she also needs to stop Braum and Zaya.
And it's just so difficult because you think about it, and Samira, they need to find the lead early. They need to try and make these outplays. But whenever you try to jump in, there's just a bubble on your face. You try and get yourself to escape, and you're just giving your enemy laner even more damage. And to be honest, I hope when we get towards the second game that they ban away the Zoe, as there's a reason that you don't give Trouble Bubble his main.
Yeah, Zoe is one of those champions which is not played very often by a lot of people, but the people that play Zoe are very, very good at it because
So
they're most
aggravating.
of the yeah, because most of the time these are mains or one tricks. So when you give them their champion, they're gonna be on the most comfortable champion they have, and because it's not a very oftenly played champion, it's gonna be they know their matchup better than you do, which already gives you a disadvantage. And then they even get a triple kill early game in this situation, get an early Dark Seal, which is gonna be stacking right now. So he's in a really, really comfortable position on one of his most comfortable champions.
And the conversation comes down as well when you're playing something like Zoe. Once you find this lead, you could push this vision ahead, and you have to walk in towards your own jungle and be scared of around the bubble hitting you. As I want Leash needs to be a little bit careful here, going to be able to dodge that Q and not have to use that ultimate. And the question now becomes, how does Assassin's Creed lose this, and how does Monkey Esports get back into this game?
Yeah,
Is,
it's
is there just no answer?
I'm thinking about it, but I don't really think that MonkeSports has any real way of getting back into this game, except when Assassin's Creed just makes a really, really, really big misplay.
But we talked about this conversation before about side lanes. That's the way they can win. Volley Bear finds a big enough lead, wins that 1v1. You have the opportunity as well for trying to go for that outplayers. Oh my, so much damage coming out from Trouble Bubble, but has he gone too far? Flash is available to get out. Hits another sleep on towards that Brom as well. Delt going in, Samira going in, finding a huge ultimate to the backline. Finds the first kill, finds the second, still trying to make the outplay here. Maybe finally finding that reset there. 3 versus 4. Volley Bear trying to walk in, but Zaya with so much damage, finding a double kill by themselves. Resets coming through. Triple kill for Desire, an extra kill over towards Maybe. And Monkey Esports, if they went 6,000 gold behind, that team fight looked incredible.
Yeah, like the Inferno trigger there hitting so many people was really, really good. But then, even then, they only got to 1 kill because Featherstorm just pops out, Glacial Fissure just pops out, and what are you gonna do?
It's
Yes,
super difficult because they're looking on towards, of course, the Zoe. They see that Zoe uses the ultimate, but they don't expect the flash afterwards. If they knew the flash was available, I don't think they would have gone for that play. Or even so, if they went for that play on towards Trouble Bubble, it isn't like that's the only damage source from the side of Assassin's Creed. You can see there's a 2,000 gold lead towards Desire, and they are just absolutely giga ahead. Where if you focus one of these champions, the other one's just going to carry.
yeah, but even if Portal Jump is off cool or on cooldown, right? Portal Jump does not have that long of a cooldown. So the thing is, jumping on that Zoe, because even when you jumped on her and she didn't have Portal Jump up, she still Portal jumped out of the Inferno trigger range. And it's such a short cooldown, and for the rest, yeah, Zoe is not that mobile, but she has her W. She could have ignited and also ran away. I don't think that could have gotten her in safety in this situation, but in some situations, it already gives enough safety. That movement speed burst that Zoe gets from her W, that's already really big.
Yeah, 100%. And it's getting to the point now where the Zoe is so far ahead that at probably the next item that's completed, they are just going to be able to one shot as well. As they're super far behind, but Monkey Esports are super far behind themselves, ahead, behind, whatever. But Assassin's Creed getting themselves ready for this next dragon is going to be the second one for whoever picks it up.
Yeah, but the thing with the Zoe here, what you say is the second item she's gonna one shot the Rel. Who is she not gonna one shot? Like I think Volibear's the only one who's gonna live.
I think Xing Zhao in Ultima is the only possibility of staying alive, in all honesty. I think any other time, Zoe's probably going to one shot. Resets coming through from the Braum, trying to reset those wards. Monkey Esports, do you even contest this?
No, what MonkeSports should do here is play for something else, shove a bot wave, shove a mid wave. They can't be just looking at Assassin's Creed taking a dragon because they're not going to be able to contest it anyways. So they better just look for something else. Look for an invade, look for a shove, what Volibear is doing now, look for a turret maybe. That kind of situation because you're not going to be able to contest this in this situation.
It's the classic trying to go for you have bot side, we have top side. The only problem is Monkey Esports halfly went for that. Volibear went top. You already see Sergio Ramos up here. But do they even have the damage to kill the Cassante? He's been super strong up here. Ultimate still available if he wants to. I think there's nothing that they can do, but maybe holding off here, trying to get him on the tower, having to force the flash from Pablo. But look what's happened on the opposite side. They're just absolutely destroying the base.
Yeah, I don't really think that you can look for a Cassante that's that healthy because even he still had his all out.
Need to wait, maybe going for the overstep, not thinking that they're going to kill it. It's a quick kill coming over to Monkey Esports. Busy enough as Sergio Ramos now in a super difficult situation. Looking on towards Jordi. Ultimate comes through, slinging himself over the wall, getting themselves the kill. A little bit messy, but so far, Assassin's Creed still in the lead.
Yeah, very much so. They can look for these more aggressive plays now because they're in this much of a lead. They can look to be aggressive. They can look for actually sometimes here and there a not so good play because they're just so far ahead and they have a certain champions that just stat check you.
Yeah, Marathon looking for a play towards the mid lane. Use the flash as well, but a nice little sidestep from Trouble Bubble. Gets themselves out to safety as whoa. I don't even want to know how much damage that would have dealt when going in. Fortunately, it is the W from Zoe, picking up someone else's flash to use it. So it's going to have that flash off cooldown for that next team fight. And we'll even have it up in 15 seconds.
Yeah, and this tricks some people, right? Because they think, okay, Zoe
Don't trick
flashed
me.
now. Because they sometimes don't even know that it is the Zoe W. Sorry, what did you say?
No, I'm saying it would trick me myself.
Oh,
Plenty of times in solo queue, I thought, oh guys, she doesn't have flash available. I try and flash in afterwards, and she just second flash and then picks up my flash as well, so then gets triple flashes. It can get super messy when you're going against a champion like Zoe, and going in this chaos is absolutely what she loves, and that's what the team is getting. Atachan is available for both of these teams, very much expected for Assassin's Creed to put high priority on that. But so far, seeming like they're just trying to push out their waves, get ready for a major objective.
and which Otacon are we looking at this game? I kind of didn't check properly. We're looking
Now,
at Ferocious
if
or
it's
Ruin?
10 and 4, all I know is going to be the one where you get to revive.
Big red one.
Yeah, big red one. You know, the one that does the circle close to it, not the circle that comes in? That's all I know about these champions. As Delph doesn't be careful, a little bit of an overstep. Braum instantly engaged on, all damage pumped onto them, trying to get towards the backline. Ultimate used from the Zaya is going to be dangerously loads now. Take a look at Huggery. C, trying to get to B, trying to get to A, uses the ultimate, flashes over towards safety, picks up one, but it just isn't enough. Having I Want Leash flashing into there may have overstepped just a little bit. Jordy ulting himself in towards the back line. Maybe going to go down, going to pick up the first blood, flashing in again, and not going to get more from this. Or will he? Ultimate available for him, but just going too far, and it's going to be a 2 for 2. Monkey Esports saving that fight at the end there.
2 for 3 trade in this stage of the game. You get some more gold out of it than your enemy, but the thing here is, though, was it really worth it? I don't really think it was. The Samira using her Flash with Inferno trigger to try and secure the kill on, I think it was Braum. Like, Braum has just been tanking in that fight for so long, and he didn't even take that much damage, because Braum is just that tanky right now.
And that's the thing with Patarina and Sergio Ramos in this jungle mid matchup. It's all about trying to burst somebody out with your combo. Then afterwards, your damage starts to fall off a cliff. So if they don't have the damage by being super far behind, and you've used it all on Braum, of course, Samira, even going in with that Infernal trigger, you need people to be about half HP before you can go in and start pumping out this damage. So they're very fortunate that that play was so close. And that's because Trouble Bubble was towards the top side.
Yeah, if Zoe was anywhere near that fight when it started, I
It
don't
was
think it
over.
would have. Yeah, I don't even think it would have lasted that long.
We will have to see another team fight, most likely on the cards. We talked about Atakan. We see it right on our screen. AG trying to start positioning, pushing out the waves, getting themselves the vision, and trying to start up the objective very shortly.
Yeah, the Volibear, I like his item choice on one hand, but on the other hand, I don't think it's really that best decision right now. He's going Flicker Blades, which gives him the 1v1 potential, but he's already down 2 levels on a stat stick champion. So I don't think that even with Flicker Blades completed, that he will be able to 1v1 the Chrysante properly.
I don't think they're going to be able to deal with it at all. Third Dragon going over towards Assassins as Greed. One more will be that soul point, and more importantly, going to be that Ocean Soul. We said about having something like a Cassante up top lane being tanky. They're going to be unkillable once that comes through. But Atakan has been started. Monkey Esports trying to find a way in, but Zing's out towards the top side. They're just giving this for free.
Yeah, Ferocious Atakan gives a revive, gives some bonus gold when you get a takedown. Bonus gold has been nerfed. It's no longer 40 to 25 now, but it's on every takedown, not on every kill. So it's still really, really good.
Yeah, Spirit Rush used towards the top side, get that top lane tower. 700 gold in the pockets of the mid jungle duo. Not going to be too happy, but you could have had nothing. So at least the Monkey Esports are fighting back. And that's the big thing is when we look at the gold lead, it's 8,000. Very bleak, you have to say. But they've been finding the ways to make these team fights not look as one-sided as what you would think. It should just be having a better team comp with a better draft that you are just going to try and stop them. But Monkey Esports finding these ways in.
MonkeSports does get some successful engages. I don't think I've seen a really, really good Magnet Storm yet. I think that if they get a good Magnet Storm with that Chimera Inferno trigger, then they might get something big. But that's all like ifs, and oh, when that happens, it's. But right now, it's really, really hard to get through those kind of stages in a fight, just because they're down 7k gold.
Now, the important thing is maybe once he gets towards that Stax gauge, he's going to be a lot more tanky in these team fights. But Samira before that has that Infinity Edge, has that Collector. There's a huge opportunity to find these big team fights. But it's all about finding that engage, finding that big ultimate for Marathon. Has the flash available if he wants to try and look for Psych soon?
Yeah, and we're talking about this Stargazer. I assume you're talking about the Xin Zhao, right? But what we see right now is his jungle is just getting completely robbed. He's not gonna get as much CS anymore.
Maximum
Oh,
sass achieved.
Spirit
Ooh,
Rush.
you're cute. What a
Trying to deal a
mess.
bit of damage back to him, but maybe finding the first good engage. Trouble Bubble, though, in danger towards the mid lane. W did land from Sergio Ramos, but too scared about the team around, getting themselves out to safety, and now they have to be the ones to be scared. Braum on the side here.
Yeah, with the game state we're looking at right now, MonkeSports jungle is just no longer theirs. If you look at the vision control on top side alone, there is just so much vision there. They know exactly where you are, they know exactly where you're going, and they know exactly what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, fight going to be kicking off here. Sergio Ramos already used that ultimate, getting chunked to half HP, and the Samira had nowhere to hide. Ultimate getting used, but it's too little too late. Sergio Ramos trying to go for the hills, but Geordie running him down. Ultimate available if needed. Maybe he could push out this wave and stop the crash, but still with that mid lane wave, Assassin's Creed coming out super dominant in that play.
Yeah, the Viego just getting reset on Heartstopper again and again and again and again. It's just so scary in these team fights. We saw it. I think he killed 2 people. So
Yeah.
it's just him getting 1 kill and then just snowballing the team fight. Viego has one of the best advantage states there is because his passive is just that good. And when your team is this far ahead, it doesn't matter that you're not the one ahead. Your team is so far ahead that you will still be doing a lot of damage in this team fight and still be getting a lot of resets and everything.
And it's the combination as well with the Zoe. The amount of damage you're able to pump out. You find that first kill, Viego starts to take over. Even with a Braum Q, you find one stun, or with an auto attack from his passive, you just could be able to one shot, get that reset, you won the team fight. So it starts getting harder and harder for Monkey Esports to make the play because now they need to one shot the Viego, or he's going to take over. You have to one shot Trouble Bubble, or they're going to take over.
Time to
Or if you don't want to
start
take
up.
any of them, you have to take care of the AD carry, or they'll take over. Or you need to try and kill Geordie, and Geordie's unkillable.
One of the things we said earlier, right, is we were talking about how we liked the team comp that Assassin's Creed came up with. There's just a lot of good synergy between all the members. And the later we go into this game, yes, they're ahead, but the later we go into this game, the more and more I like the team comp
Alan
because there's
needs to
so
be
much
careful
synergy.
here. 2,000. You can see they don't want to finish this off. They're trying to kill the Zingzao before it goes down. 18,000, 16,000. It gets smited away. Stealing it, but 2 people going down. Ari using the ultimate out to safety. We'll have to see if that was the correct call. 3 members are going to get themselves out to safety, or are they? Geordie in the
Advantage
back
feed.
line. Ultimate has to try and make the outplay. Pobel using the ultimate out to safety. Hyrie getting out themselves. Or is he? Flash coming over. Trouble Bubble has the ultimate. Not going to be able to finish it off. Hyrie trying to get himself out to safety and finally does. But they can just end the game here.
Yeah, even if you get the steal in that situation, getting 2 kills, they're just going to be able to end the game probably here.
Yeah, Pablo trying to go for a
Yeah.
walkout, not going to be able to do so. First member goes down. Samira can't get anywhere near that S rank. Trouble Bubble finding the ultimate onto Patarina, doesn't find the kill, trying to find the outplay by maybe, but it's too little too late. Zingzao's available. Is there a play? Is there a way back into the game? And the answer seems to be yes. They get the first kill. They're looking for the second. But Cassante is so tanky. Geordie just isn't dying. Same with this Braum. Meriton now the one trying to run away. Patarina pumping out the damage. But do they have enough? Zaya's still available. Ultimate keeping Sergio Ramos alive. Finally goes in, but gets taken out for it. Patarina against the world, and it seems like the world is just too heavy. Assassin's Creed with this first play, trying to go for it, trying to find the kills, but not enough. Assassin's Creed finding the first win here.
Yeah, Zaya just not taking any damage in that last team fight. It looked very good for MonkeSports, but Zaya was full HP during it most of the time, so it's kind of, are you really gonna just try and kill the Cassante and leave the Zaya behind? She's gonna kill you.
Yeah, very difficult indeed. Now, Black Wolf, we have about a minute before we go on to break and we get towards this next game. Tell me, what needs to change to make the second game closer?
First, I really think we should not put someone this comfortable on Zoe. Like,
Okay, I like option one. Now, there's one other thing I wish you said. Probably not first, second I'll allow. It definitely can't be third. I love Samira, not
yeah.
against the comp we saw it.
Nah, you cannot pick Samira on on R3 and then leave the Braum open to ban a Varus.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Absolutely incredible analytical takes for Black Wolf. Guys, I do apologize for the play by play. I'm a color caster myself. I am trying my best.
Hey, you're
Anyway,
doing really
I
well.
believe we have 5 minutes, maybe 10 if we're unlucky until we get ourselves into the next game. Make sure not to go anywhere because I truly believe this next game is going to be an absolute cinema of a show. So see you guys in 5 minutes for the second game. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Centuries League and welcome back for Assassin's versus Greed versus Monkey Esports. In our first game, Assassin's Greed have won. But of course, this can be done in a draw because we're having a best of two series. And the one person that I wouldn't want to have with me more than anyone else is Black Wolf. How are we doing today?
Still pretty good. I'm very
Just good?
excited for game
Not
two.
great, not fantastic, not the best League of Legends you've ever seen.
I'm Dutch. We're not that enthusiastic.
I I mean, I lived there for 5 years and look at me. I got the enthusiasm in me. Very excited times. Maybe I've just been Englishified. Got too excited, too hyped, too many teas digested. But please, allow the people to digest. Tell me, what are we expected to see in the second game?
um, I'm hoping to see a Zoe ban, and I'm
Hoping.
hoping to see if
I'm
they
begging.
draft if they draft Samira again, that they drafted in a different way. But
They are
uh,
red side. Last pick, still a high priority for them if they want to get Smear on R5. There's a big opportunity there, or they can just switch it up. Varus, maybe even an Ezreal, something that we know a lot of Monkey Esports AD carries like to play. But these picks, these bans coming through, Zoe still hasn't been taken off. It has to be this last ban, right?
I'm hoping. I have faith in the
Uh,
ability from
League
MonkeSports.
gods, please, small indie company, get this Zoe out of here. Trouble bubble.
Okay, nope.
Now, do they first pick it?
Nah, they wouldn't. They will first pick
Okay.
away the Viego from
Will
the
Monkey
jungler from
steal it?
MonkeSports. I have never seen Pat on a champion on like Zoe, so I really doubt that he will pick it. I think they're gonna go with Skarner, probably pick something on mid lane again, which can really utilize the Skarner.
Oh, Hui is
Uh,
so bad into Zoe. Zoe just trouble bubble completely destroys it. But maybe
so,
maybe they've stun locked Assassin's Creed said, hey, we're gonna give such a bad matchup, you're never going to pick it here, right? Maybe that's the possibility. But
the thing even is Hui is gonna be hard shoving ways, trying to, and he's not really that great at roaming. And then Skarner wants to maybe look for mid, but he can't really because the wave is going to be shoved in. And Hui just gets really hard countered by Zoe.
okay. All right. Actually, huge changes have happened in our mentals and in this game. Zoe has not been picked up yet.
Oh,
But you can't randomly pick Zoe. There's too many counter picks towards it. So instead, Assassin's Creed were the people to pick up the way. And on the opposite side, we
oh
wanted to
wait.
see Sergio Ramos on a champion that deals a lot of damage. And that's exactly what we got, having that Viego. And this Ezreal pick we talked about, we wanted that over the Samira. These adaptations Monkey Esports have done so far is exactly what we wanted.
My brain is still processing that we had this side
Take your
strat.
time, man. Take your time. But you know, Monkey Esports, they've been listening.
I guess they first picked the Viego now, which is a very comfortable champion for them. Can't get picked away
They left the
by Assassin's
Skarner
Creed right
open.
now.
I think
They
Skarner's
left
just too
Skarner.
broken.
Skarner. The thing with Skarner still is what I said. Hui is gonna shove wave. And when Hui stops shoving wave, then it's like, Skarner might be around. So that's a thing. Skarner wants to play for his lanes, and Skarner has a really easy time playing for mid lane because transition gank is a thing. Karma getting banned away here is very smart because Karma Ezreal is going to be really, really annoying.
But I'm having a bit of an issue here. I'm absolutely loving the ideas of Skarner ganking, and then I just think about Ezreal E. Bot lane's not gankable. I think about Scare of the Week. Mid lane's not gankable. And now the Skarner pick, yes, fantastic in these team fights. Going to be great later on as this massive frontline tank. But early game, very difficult to find these leads. They need a hard engaged jungler on Assassin's Creed if they want this bot lane to get a lead. Nautilus would be the most likely champion. For that, a best or bad away from Monkey Esports, and the Casante's left open. Do you think Assassin's Creed just take it here?
Sante's banned.
Okay, makes sense. It got put in the second or the first bad phase. It was that broken.
Yeah, I mean, what you say about Nautilus, I think Nautilus can be really, really like a good pick here still because Kai'Sa Nautilus is that good. Although Ezreal can buffer his E with the Nautilus Q, right?
Are you scared of the Braum as well? Yes, you can buffer
Um,
the E, but you have the ultimate on top of that. If he E's away, you can Q, you can ult. There's plenty of different possibilities for it. But
yeah,
Monkey Esports, they like the Braum. They like the stuff like the Maokai and the support that can get pivoted up top. There's plenty of different options for them to go here. And I don't want to say it, but Monkey Esports have completely 180 their drafters. They've been the ones to go in. Now they're the ones to go for this front to back team fighting comp. Having the Viego, once they poked enough to just try and burst somebody out and change these fights. And so far, they're winning the draft for me.
MonkeSports draft is looking very, very solid. It's gonna be a Maokai support, it looks like. Although we're hovering pure tanks right now, I would like to see still a Juggernaut type of champion in the form of like a Mundo, maybe. It's just I like the Mundo. I like Pobla's Mundo. It's
Yep.
just I
I
don't
wouldn't
think
mind it.
I don't think that if you pick a full tank here, that you're gonna have enough side lane pressure here. That's one of the
Yeah,
things I'm
side
worrying
lane
about.
pressure is definitely not going to be a thing for the team. But if they can start these team fights with a Maokai Ultimate, Shen Ultimate on top of the Viego, you can start to see how they could be really on the front foot. Or on the opposite hand, if Assassin's Creed tried to start a fight, Shen just ults in, TP's back to lane. That is very comfortable. But this puts Assassin's Creed in a really awkward situation where they have to pick an AD champion in towards a Shen. And AD champion's very much known for dealing attack damage. That W going to be able to tank a lot of that. So got locked in, decent into Shen, pretty good after the two items. But before that, Shen is very comfortable in that lane.
Yeah, I mean the thing right now, right, is Urgot's gonna have a really, really good time in the side lane because there's not that many people that can stop him. Monk Esports has a really good mid game with the Cinder, with the Ezreal, with the Viego. Their mid game is very, very strong, but they will be looking for these team fights, for these front to backs. And as long as Assassin's Creed is playing this 1-4, maybe 1-3-1 with a Kai'Sa on the side lane, because Hui's wave clear is just that good. He's just gonna sit mid, clear a wave, chill. So
So
mm, I'm
the question I
curious.
got to ask you then is when I'm looking at Monkey Esports, they scale fantastically towards the late game as well, especially with the Syndra and Ezreal, Viego finding those resets as well. But so does Assassin's Creed. So would you like your Viego to just hard farm in the game, get scaling as fast as possible? Or would you rather actually try and make plays around the mid lane or even the bot side and look for these kills?
What I think personally is you need to get your Syndra ahead as far as possible in this game so that she can properly match the Urgot in the side lane and maybe even look for a good one shot on him. Because if Syndra is ahead far enough, she's gonna one shot Urgot.
Yeah, 100%. And another conversation comes in with how do they find resets for the Viego? You can have the Shen Ultimate on top, you try and burst out with Viego going first with the Maokai. But the second one, the easier version that I always see, and the reason you see Viego and Syndra paired up so much together, is if Syndra has a lead or even is even in the 2 versus 2, they get onto a squishy member like the Kai'Sa or like the Hui, they can just absolutely one shot with that ultimate from Syndra.
Yeah, definitely, definitely that. But this is one of the things I said, right? If Kai'Sa is going side lane, yeah, you stick Hui on mid because Hui is just gonna stop any way from shoving in. Um, you can have Nautilus and Skarner just bodyguard the two people that are going to get one shot. So that's why I said Syndra needs to get this lead to be able to get a one shot on Urgot or a one shot on Nautilus or like that kind of stuff. Because then I think then Monkey Sports can do way more with the Viego as well. I think he can power farm to look for this late game, and he definitely can look for a one shot. But I think Assassin's Creed, their comp still looks very good.
Now, one conversation I absolutely love, or like one thing you said there was, okay, there's an opportunity for Sidra to find a one shot at everybody except
Yeah, except
Skarner.
Skarner.
Skarner's
I,
broken. Skarner's
she's
busted.
she's not
Please get him
one-shotting that thing.
deleted, right, games. He's really not fun. And I think that's the whole entire thing here. But one thing I want to dig in a little bit deeper before I ask you about which comp you think is going to win, if you think we're going to have a draw, or if you think Assassin's Creed is going to go 2-0 today. Talk to me about this bot lane matchup. How do you feel about the Maokai picked in towards the Kaiser and Nautilus?
Hmm. Very honestly, I don't think it's that good of a pick. Because yes, he can try and cue away the Nautilus when Nautilus tries to engage on himself or Ezreal, but I don't think he really protects the Ezreal well enough from the. I think I would have liked a Braum more or something because Braum could have W and E to stop a Nautilus, follow up ult from his hook that Ezreal already buffered
But
out
are
of.
you scared of engages? Because at least you have the Maokai ultimate.
Hmm. Yeah, Maokai ulti does it's good, but I don't think it's gonna like tip the laning phase into their favor. Right now, I
Oh,
really think that Nautilus Kai'Sa has a in laning phase wise a little edge.
I would agree. Now, if Maokai is able to use the Q properly that we talked about, big possibilities where they can just disengage as the Ezreal poke them out. Very fantastic in the 2v2 if played that way. But once we get in towards the 3v3, if the Viego in, if they can't find that one shot, and Ezreal's not known for that in the early game, this Ghana coming in, the 3 versus 3 starts to look very difficult. So Monkey Esports, we could see ways that they can win. We could see ways that they're going to lose. But Black Wolf, tell me, do you think Monkey Esports is going to make this 1-1? Or do you think Greed, Assassins, and Greed is going to be able to take the victory here?
I think it's gonna be entirely up to how the early game goes. If they do well, they're gonna make it 1-1. If there a few things go wrong, they're gonna get 0-2'd.
Best analytical response I've ever heard. And do you know what makes it even better? Because of the profile picture you've seen, I don't know what you look like in person. Every time that you put a or a I always think about just you sitting there with your glasses down, really thinking about every single detail about these matchups.
And the profile picture is from one of my favorite shows, but
What
it's not
show is
really
it?
about. It's Windbreaker. It's a fighting anime.
Yep. Mm. I mean, I haven't watched just yet. I've been absolutely loving my Gundam recently. Been
Oh,
watching what was it? It was a really good show. It was like Iron Blooded Orphans. If you are a mecha fan, I absolutely recommend it. But quickly, guys, we have a couple minutes before we get ourselves into games. You are going to be having an absolute incredible episode of the Zaf and Black Wolf podcast. Good to be back. First episode must be exciting.
yeah. Haven't done any casting in a while, but it's feeling really nice to do it again. Really gives me this feeling that I should look to do more because I actually
Yeah.
enjoy it more than playing the game.
There is a reason why a lot of us people who aren't good enough come here towards more of the broadcast segment. I played, of course, semi-competitively in the Prime League. Actually did some coaching for the UKL, but that's too much. Not even too much work. It's too much stress. I can be on here. I could talk bad about the players, and there's nothing they can do.
Oh, I feel you. I really feel you.
Yeah. What are they going to do? DM you on Twitter, on Discord, but like, hey, this play was actually correct, and I could just talk bad about them next game as well.
It's just a lot of like that's the thing with playing these competitive games. There's a lot of pressure on you, especially if you're down right now. It's like that's also a thing for Monkey Sports. It's if they win, they get a draw. If they lose, they get a lose. So there is a lot of pressure on
Factually, yes. If they lose, they do lose.
you.
I
It
couldn't agree with
sounds
you more
really
there. But yeah,
in the
a lot of
sense of
pressure.
the best of the two. There's a lot of pressure on you, which also it doesn't get talked about very often, but when you're in these kind of situations, your play is gonna go down. Like it doesn't matter
Okay.
how good you are. If you have
If we're
pressure
talking
on you,
about
you're gonna
first
go.
game, or if you're talking about the grand finals or semi-finals or any playoffs, I
Mm.
agree. But a regular season match between the Monkeys and Assassin's Creed, probably not
There's
as many
always
stakes.
nah, but there's always a bit of pressure on you.
Okay, I will agree there'll always be a bit of pressure. That's why comfortability, that's why the more experience you have, the better you are. Because Assassin's Creed, a team that's been around for a very long time, different players on this team, but players like Trouble Bubble and Geordie have been around the scene for 2+ years at this point. And this is just a normal day out compared to a few others which are newer to the scene, trying to get themselves in towards that competitive scene. As fortunately, if you do well here, there's an opportunity to join maybe a diamond team, maybe a masters team. If you do well on those teams, there is higher highs and you can get in towards these national leagues. As we've had so many different stories about players in this leagues and other Discord leagues go up, join maybe a UKEL team, go up to NLC, still waiting for a time for somebody to get towards the LEC, but maybe one of these players can be that one.
Let's hope we see someone we casted or you casted up there one
Yeah.
day.
But guess what? We'll be in the LEC and we'll just hype them up like no tomorrow. Doesn't matter if we can't be biased. We could be like, hey, they're a true OG. They were there from the start.
Oh, how fun!
Absolute dream there. Absolute dream. Because if you had to join any team in the LEC, okay,
Any
what
team.
team would you join? In what position? And if you played 10 games, how many kills would you get? If you had the full team supporting you on this.
Okay, 10 games. How many kills? Maybe one, two.
You
Like
think you're only getting 2 kills?
I'm not very good
Yeah, but
necessarily, but and
imagine
I don't
you
really
have like
play.
the full, I don't know, G2 roster with you. No way you're not getting more than 2 kills. They'll be setting them up on the platter.
Yeah, but I play more supportive champs mode most of the time. That's the thing. I play mids personally.
I feel like you just have to play Vega in the mid lane, press that E, use that ultimate when it's available, and just start stacking up, not your passive, but for those kills. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Summoner's Rift. Monkey Esports versus Sergio Ramos. First game went, of course, over towards Assassins and Greed. Can they finish this off in a 4-0 fashion? Or are we going to see a 2-1 coming out from both of these teams? We'll have to wait and see. There's a few shenanigans early on, but nothing so far coming out.
Interesting start, in my opinion, from MonkeSports with this rollout. All running into this bush, or maybe they were gonna be looking for some vision, but then they all just scattered as they got hit by a single Tway ability. So
Little late invade here for the Assassins and Greed, trying to see if they can steal away the Raptor camp or place down a ward. Seems like they will be spotted out. Ward getting placed down. Viego is going to know where he has been started for the Skarner. Spot lane, they'll walk towards the bot lane. And in the early game, talking about both junglers being the matchup of this game, where do you expect both of these teams to be playing for?
from their positioning right now, it be looking that they're both going to be playing for bot side. I expected it from Skarner, and actually I expected it from Viego as well, because they're not going to be playing for a Shen. We can look for a transition gank early from Skarner, because that's what he's known for. And I think Viego's is going to full clear, maybe look for a play, and otherwise base and just try and farm up.
Yeah, it would definitely help if you could find a quick kill on towards top lane of Jordy, because yes, he'll be winning out in the 1v1 the longer the game goes, but he still needs a little bit of time to start scaling, start ramping up towards that heavy champion. Because if you're scared of Syndra on the side lane trying to find the one shot, it's a lot easier to one shot an Urgot, which is 0-2, than an Urgot that's 2-0.
That's very true. And what you said earlier is with the Shen, right? Yes, Shen W is very good into Urgot because it stops a lot of his auto attack. But keep in mind, it also is when Shen presses his W before Urgot presses E, he's likely going to be just flipping you outside of your little protective zone.
Yeah. But then the counterplay comes in. Shen has a dash of his own. Plenty of possibilities where if he tries to dash into you, you dash away, or you just tank it, press a W, but be in a position to still stay in there. So it's going to be very exciting to see how well Popular can actually work out this matchup. As Trouble Bubble in the mid lane, we're not going to see the Zoe again. Instead, going to have the way less comfortable champion compared to their main, but still one of the main champions the Trouble Bubble plays.
Yeah, and Hui in general is also a really annoying champ to play against because he's just so versatile. He's getting poked out a lot in this early game, actually.
Yep. Got double HP pots if needed. First one already getting procced. Second one most likely getting used very shortly afterwards. And even though we see a lead for Patarina, once that health pot fully comes through, Patarina isn't actually too far ahead by maybe having to wait there. First blood coming through. Having an incredible electrocute proc at the end there to finish off the kill. And Monkey Esports on the board with the first kill over to Patarina.
I think that was very cleanly played from the Syndra, actually. Skarner probably looking for a gank here. Yeah, he
Looking for
is.
the
They're
gank.
going on
Flash
the
having to
Maokai.
get used there, but instead going to use the W from the Maokai, trying to get themselves out to safety. Uses the Q, trying to get out, but the flash forward, I want leash, not hitting that W. Maokai surviving the play, but what is going to happen
Viego?
afterwards? Viego coming in, 3 versus 3 still, but he doesn't have his team. They're just too low. Just going to just walk out to safety. Nobody's finding anything too early in this bot lane.
That Kaisa W not connecting
Yeah,
bites such a
the
little
flash
bit.
forwards and not finding the kill, that's definitely a rough one.
Oh, that just hurts. That hurts so much.
No damage in the
The
early game for the Ezreal.
the interaction between Skarner E and Maokai W is something I learned now
May have
because I
to
didn't
hold that
expect it.
play towards the bot lane. Going to be able to find the CC chain. Flash getting used from a new lead. Didn't have the E available at the stand. So Maokai going down for his sins. Both summoners and the flash used down towards the bot lane. Nice first blood there.
Oh, but Viego looking to get something out of it, maybe?
I think he's just
Mm,
trying to clear the wave. Not knowing the Scarlet is here, if he slightly oversteps in towards maybe a Nautilus Q, he is just going to die. Is he going to
that's the
overstep?
risky part. He plays it safe. He doesn't really want to die yet.
What do you mean by die yet?
He's
Uh,
it's
do you have
gonna
some
happen.
hacks on and you're telling me that Sergio Ramos is going to die this game?
Nah, I think most people die at least
Yeah,
once.
statistically, he's going to die this game. But for his sake, and probably for any fans of Monkey Esports, maybe we want him to stay alive. Dragon available, 5 minutes has passed. Do you expect any of these teams to be focusing that, or are you looking more for the void grubs?
Personally, I think that Assassin's Creed could be looking for these void grubs because Urgot is just so good at stacking the void grubs on towers because of his stupid ass W. Um,
Yep.
so I think they could look for that, but right now, if I'm looking at the wave states, they're probably going to be looking to set it up already or set up a dragon. Uh, Even though MonkeSports has been shoving in the wave on bot lane, so they can look to contest Drake very easily. So I don't think they should look for Drake right now.
Yeah, made a play towards the mid lane. If they're able to find the Syndra, definitely could have picked up the Dragon or the Void Grubs. But the problem is, we talked about how all these champions actually counteract this really good Skarner pick. Everybody has the different operations, but towards the mid lane, Trouble Bubble, not on his main champion, finding it so difficult. Flash forward from both members, but Patarina being faster on that engage, gets the final blast and gets the kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, the thing with that flash trait we saw there is Syndra. If Syndra flashes and auto attacks, Hui is dead. So Hui needs to flash, but he
You don't
doesn't
want to
really want
waste
to
it.
flash for nothing.
You
So
know, it's really difficult.
it's
It's the
pretty.
mind tricks there of being like, okay, you're going to flash, but what if you don't? I look like an absolute bug. I can't do that. But at least now, yes, you die, but you don't look as, I guess, bad on the Sanctuary League. And I think that's the most important thing, as we are going to be
Still lost
seeing a
your
little,
flash.
yeah, do you lose your flash? But you look less, you don't look as, less cool. The Sergio Ramos, level 5, no ultimate available, no way of getting over that wall unless he wants to maybe flash ignite. Dragon going over towards Assassin's Creed. And there is a lead slightly on the side of the Monkey team. And we have to say, this game has been a lot closer than last game for sure.
Yeah, for sure. This game didn't start off with a triple kill for the mid laner.
Yep.
Luckily,
I mean, there is a double kill. We are close to it.
that's true. MonkeSports picking up these early void grubs is also, I think it's really good for them because you also deny the void grubs and deny the void mites. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, just
Uh,
stopping Jordy from getting as much as possible. Yet again, Patarina in the mid lane, finding these outplays, one more EQ and the ultimate available, they should be able to go down. And Monkey
Diego's looking for a
Esports,
lane gank. No, he's just gonna be basing already. I thought maybe they're looking for a lane gank. He is looking for a lane gank actually.
ultimate
But
available. I think he's just dead again.
yeah,
Syndra,
I hate Syndra.
Patarina, yet again
Syndra
with
is
the outplay.
so. What we talked about earlier is Syndra's gonna be able
I
to
might have to
one-shot
hold
your
that. Another
Urgot.
play towards the bot lane. Sergio Ramos opting to not go for that reset. Maritime finding the first stun. Going to be able to pick up that kill. Dive may be available there. Patarina needs to be careful though. Has no Scatter the Weak available just yet. Ultimate still available, but we go towards the bot lane. Dashes away from the Ezreal ultimate. Stays alive for now. Sergio Ramos trying to get themselves a kill. Finally does so as a flash in the mid lane isn't enough. Pablo coming down that ultimate and Monkey Esports coming out on top on the play bot lane and same for the mid lane.
That lightning bolt hitting it that hurts a little bit to see. Happens.
Definitely
Uh,
window shopping there.
yeah. Stand United coming through from Shen really saved the Syndra there. I mean, in the end it didn't, but still, I want to be positive a bit. So Stand United saved the Syndra for a little bit. Syndra getting ahead this early. Like we said, Syndra's going to be able to one-shot Urgot likely in late game if she keeps this going on. It's
Yeah, I
just
think
really
Geordie's a
unfortunate.
little bit ruined. You need a bit of
Yeah,
magic resist against that. Otherwise, it becomes super difficult. And Geordie's done pretty well in top lane, got themselves a cold, knows the importance of finding a lead early on. And when Pablo went towards the mid lane of the ultimate, went for the reset and TP top, Pablo did lose two tower plays up there. So Geordie very close towards that first item I must expect with this reset. But is that enough Does he need to be further ahead for how much that the Monkey team has got so far?
And this is something risky that you get when you look Shen. You look Shen, they pick something that can get these plates early, and every time Shen ults, you basically give a free kill to whoever you're laning against the Shen.
And the conversation comes down to, do you think Shen was the right pick in towards the Zergor? Would you prefer that it was something else?
I the thing is right now Urgot is just so strong. I don't really think there's many champions who do really good into Urgot.
Yeah, you got the classic Aatrox trade if you want to go back towards 2019 when the Shy on IG was a fantastic one at them. Remember Bripper and Fnatic. We'll always remember that matchup. Rest in peace.
I don't think I want to see Pobla on Aatrox.
No?
No.
Okay. All right. Maybe we won't see that here, of course, in towards the Sanctuary League. Second lot of Void Grubs have come up. Assassin's Creed really wanted to pick that up for Geordie. Done pretty well with those 2 tower plates, but needs to get the ball rolling a little bit more. 2.5 minutes until those tower plates go down. We need to start seeing him stacking a few more. Otherwise, maybe this pickup towards the top lane wasn't as far as a lead as you want. Maybe looking for a play here. Marathon around the corner yet again, but Trouble Bubble just getting hit by every one of these. Ultimate goes down. Batterino already got that triple kill. Make that 4. First member goes down. Maybe all alone, trying to eat himself out to safety, but with the knockback, he goes down. And Monkey Esports, with that double kill, get themselves the Void Grabs and give nothing for Geordie in this top side.
Yeah, and like, okay, even though MonkeSports doesn't have that great of a side lane, these Void Mites are gonna work.
Yeah, need to hold a second. Geordie going on the tower here. Needs to get himself out to safety. Flash getting used. Maritime, does he have the W available? Not just yet. Backing up because of that ultimate. And Monkey Esports used a little bit too much towards the top side there.
Yeah, definitely. Now that I see the scoreboard again, I think Viego can be a big problem. Oh.
Yep. Viego, do you know? Been able to steal a lot here. Pablo not being able to finish off that kill, but we talked about the Viego towards this top side. Push that wave under a little too quickly, and they could kill off Geordie, but with that teleport available, should be able to get himself out to safety.
Yeah, I was looking at the Viego. Maybe it was going to happen a dive or something, but couldn't happen in time. Viego being this ahead early is going to be very scary as well, because if Viego gets these resets that we talked about earlier, it's going to be really, really detrimental for the team, for Assassin's Creed. MonkeSports getting this early game, I think it could go in towards a draw, the 1-1. Assassin's Creed can still win this game. It's not lost yet. Like it's really not a lost game. It's still very winnable, but it's gonna be harder than it was at the start.
Yeah, 2 dragons to their names as well. If they're able to stack up 1 more, it forces Monkey Esports in towards this major team fight. And yes, Syndra is super far ahead, but you still have maybe a massive tank. If you get to finding the gauge in the back line, ult Syndra into the team, Geordie gets to deal huge amounts of damage. That's a win con. And even if you don't want to go for these late game team fights, if you get Geordie on these sidelines by forcing the enemy team towards these dragons, big possibility for him to find a big lead on towards the side lane. So far, do you think that's the way of Assassin's Creed to win this game?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed really needs to play for, like you said, Drake, because then you give a lot of pressure to MonkeSports because you're on this soul point. But one thing we also fail to realize, like both of us, is feats of strength is still a thing. Who's closer to the feats of strength? Who has the
And
easier
we
one?
need to
Play on Syndra.
towards the mid lane. Ultimate used by Delph. Maokai trying to come in to save the day, but that flash is down. There's no way out of this. Syndra going down in just a second. Ultimate from Saskano as well, picking up the second kill, going over towards him. 1-for-1 for now. Flash over, getting the first kill, going over to Sergio Ramos. We talked about Saskano being strong. How about having it on towards a Viego? First kill goes down. Second one picking up the double kill, turns it towards the Nautilus, and he's looking to I want leash, but the damage isn't there. So they get themselves out to safety, and Monkey Esports turning around that play, and that all has to be down to Marathon.
Talk about minions saving Kai'Sa's life there. If the minions weren't
yeah, might need to hold this. Marathon might not be done here. Going for the engage, waiting for the W, stun into CC, and he is just down. Finding that kill towards the mid lane as Geordie finds the tower towards top side.
Yeah, this game is way more action-packed than last game, actually.
Yeah, get my play-by-play. Coming out a little bit more. G finding a tower towards the bot side. Going to be pretty happy with that. But let's take it back a little bit. Let's look at the kills. Let's look at these plays. How are we feeling about the game state now?
I think MonkeSports still big lead. Viego really, really scary. Syndra really scary. Um, it's right now for feats of strength. It's they both need one more objective. Oop. They
Just a
both
little bit
need
of
one more
poke.
objective. Last fight we really saw Viego with that reset shining through. They could kill Marathon here probably.
Yeah, should be able to go into Mountain here. Viego trying to come through, see if he can do anything, but I think your support is just dead. A little difficult. Going to be able to get taken out by Geordie. Somebody that you most likely don't want to have the gold on with everything that we've talked about before. But now the conversation comes down to, do you agree with Sergio Ramos being able to farm this whole game instead of trying to match someone like maybe? Because even though that he has been farming all game, he's still been able to be in all of these team fights.
Yeah, his position around the map and awareness of where he has to be at certain points is really, really good at this moment. Spiraling Despair
Katarina?
coming through. Paterina doesn't die to it.
Yeah, but look how low he is. One more damaging ability. He is going to be down. Trouble Bubble, no flash available. Needs to get in range, but Paterina getting themselves out to safety. Fortunately, has that teleport, so isn't going to be using anything else. But that flash getting expended earlier, dragging in 1 minute 20. I think he's the person to focus.
You know what also a thing is here right now? No blue ward for either mid laner. It's hard to check objectives at the moment. Hard to check certain bushes. Because look at... Oh,
Yeah, going to find a play towards the mid lane, and that is one dead Maokai. Great hook coming out from Delph. One kill going over. Dragon Star up in 50 seconds, very much a contest from both, but again, stunning towards the back line. Going to be able to pick off two from the Shen. Ezreal, first kill on towards the Kai'Sa, but no reset for Sergio Ramos. He needs to find something here. Maybe there's a play for Geordie to make an outplay here. Maybe he's not in the fight just yet, trying to look over the wall. Is going to be able to do so. Flash is coming through. Geordie getting low. Geordie going down. Shuri untouched in the back line. Sergio Ramos not finding that reset. He's finally going to go down in the 2 versus 1. Delve with no one around him is going to go down. Ezreal with that double kill. Call that a triple kill going over. And Monkey Esports are not out of it just yet.
MonkeSports is looking very, very good. They have the gold on the right champions. They have the gold on the jungler, the mid laner, and the ADC who are their carries at this moment. Shen has some gold. Shen has 3 cloth farmers as well. I just think that's gonna be really rough for assassins because they really can't force out their game plan with this side lane because I don't really think Urgot can side lane at this moment against anyone.
Yeah, but what is their game plan? We think it's side laning, but it could easily be these dragons. 2 dragons already going over, looking for this other one as well. Syndra may be close enough to try and go for a steal here, especially Viego won't be, so it's going to go over. And you talk about Monkey Esports having the better team fights, they seem to be losing every objective.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think they've been playing.
That's more tempo than
very
anything.
well.
They do have good dragons. This is the play-by-play in me where I'm just being like, well, I see in front of me that they're winning team fights, but I see that they're losing the game somehow.
Yeah, they're winning the team fights because they're this far ahead with. I mean, this far ahead. They're only 2k ahead right now. They're because they have so good.
Well,
so many
look at
good
where the gold
options.
is. I think that's the important thing that we need to talk about. Is yes, it's a 2,000 gold lead, but where is the gold allocated? 8,000 gold on an Ezreal, 7,000 on towards your Syndra, and then 8,000 on your jungler as well. The only reason that it looks so close is there's 1,000 gold lead on towards the support and on towards the top lane as well. If we completely take them away, it would be a 4,000 gold lead.
That's very true. But also, one of the things is why there's so many objectives going towards Assassin's Creed sides because they're not fighting over it.
Well, talking about fighting, one has just started up here, trying to use the blast cone, trying to get out to safety, is going to be able to do so. Assassin's Creed get very aggressive here.
I mean, talking about objectives, they both have 3. It's just that one has dragons, and the
Okay.
other one has...
What would you prefer? 6 Void Grubs and, of course, the Rift Herald, or yourselves 3 Dragons? But I might have to hold that point. I want Leash using the ultimate out to safety, has the flash available, going to get used, but the Maokai, he don't care for no flash. He comes with you. First kill going over, finding the second reset as well. 2 kills towards the mid lane, and this game is just getting more intense.
The fights are really starting to
Yeah,
just
fights are going to keep
break
going.
my brain.
This is where the trouble bubble is trying to get himself out to safety. This is where I have to try and test out my play-by-play skill. Two-man ultimate, but nobody to follow up. You're all alone in no man's land. Another kill towards the mid lane. Trouble bubble trying to help out as much as he can, and this game is just going to absolute chaos in this mid lane.
Yeah, we can really see that MonkeSports has a really good advantage state right now, and a really good advantage in general, because they just broken open this mid lane. They're probably going to be playing for the tier 1 on top very
Yep.
soon. That's what I assume at least. Because when you do that, you give so much pressure on this enemy jungle, and Skarner really needs a few items to actually be as tanky as he's known for. So the Skarner that's not getting the gold that he needs is not going to be as tanky as he needs to, and the Syndra's is gonna one-shot his team. She's still not gonna one-shot him, but she's gonna one-shot his team, and he's not gonna be able to do anything about it.
Completely correct with you there. Level 13 got that secondary ult onto Katarina. If Kai'Sa walks up a little bit too far with the ultimate, Trouble Bubble is mispositioned. They will just get one shot. And this game keeps coming back to these Dragons. Both of these teams starting today 2-0. Of course, Monkey Esports losing that first game, but if you can go your first week and a half winning every single game, it's going to mean so much to you. So coming in towards this Dragon, what do you want to see from both of these teams in the minute and a half?
Vision control. The team that has vision control in this situation is going to get the dragon 100%.
Because
So
you don't
they're going to be
want to walk
fighting over
in.
vision. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Both teams don't want to walk in blindly. So
yeah.
the team that has the vision control is going to win this dragon 100%.
Because you can see both of these teams looking around this Atacant, seeing if they can maybe sneak it away. But they know if they lose it there, they lose vision control that you talked about, and they lose the dragon on top of it. And both really desperately. One wants to steal it away, and one wants to take it. Everything is in line here. Atacant going to get started, see if they can see everybody. But nobody has been found just yet. 1 minute down. Who are main takeaways for this team fight?
Like for Assassin's Creed side, they really need to take care of this Viego, because when Viego gets going in a team fight, there's no stopping him. But on the other hand, they also really need to take care of the Syndra, because she's just gonna one-shot someone.
Now,
So
the
it's
benefit is
very
Skarner's
yeah.
ultimate is multi-man. Delph's ultimate can be multi-man as well. Auto attacks, of course, on the passive multi-man. Maybe they just find two-man ultimates on everybody and then they're fine. Of course, a lot more difficult. We talked about
It's yeah.
vision gained by
Oh,
Assassin's Creed. They are slightly ahead on the tempo side. Geordie teleport available, but opt in to walk in. Everybody try and see if they can make the outplay. Delph trying to walk out here. Ultimate's going to be used from the Maokai, going to land onto nobody. Flash getting used by Patarina, not going to be available for the fight.
yeah, Syndra not having flash for this fight is gonna be very, very good for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
They have the good vision control right now, so MonkeSports has to walk into them. So this could be a really good fight for Assassin's Creed, actually, even though
Yeah.
they're down gold.
Both teams looking for the river here, trying to get as close towards this dragon as possible. A smite fight, none of these teams want. They want to win outright. Do one of these team play? Syndra towards the mid lane, not with the team just yet. The engage finally comes through from the Maokai. No ultimate available, but they're all going on towards Geordie. Is that really the member you want to go in? But a three-man scatter the weekend towards the backline. I think he's done it. I think that's enough. But Geordie in the backline trying to change that around. Can he do anything? 3 versus 1. Yes, he is damaged, but does he have enough? Marathon using the Q out to safety. He's holding everybody off, but it just doesn't matter. As Sergio Ramos in the backline doing it himself, killing off the Kai'Sa, Trouble Bubble all on his own, finding one, trying to get more here, using the flash, but Marathon is with him, gets him the self to kill, but Syndra should be able to finish off here with the Ezreal, and this fight should be secured by Monkey Esports, and they have stopped Assassin's Creed from getting this dragon.
What a chaotic fight that was. We were talking about you need to take out this Viego and you need to take out the Syndra, because otherwise you're not winning this fight. They failed to do so, so they lost the fight. The fair beyond depth, really, really nice from Urgot. Flashed in, got a fair, tried to do something, but his team was just getting run down by a really fat Viego. So eh,
Really difficult.
it's a really difficult fight to play from Assassin's Creed side. So can't really blame them, to be fair.
No, you really can't. Now, the difficult thing was they went on towards Geordie when they should have gone on to I Want Leash or Trouble Bubble. And the one person who won themselves the fight for the monkey has to be the mid laner Patarina. And what a series they've had from getting absolutely dominated in the first game wholeheartedly by Trouble Bubble to now being the one dominating, being 6-2, almost finishing off that death cap at 24 minutes. And they found a 3-man scatter the week on Trouble Bubble and I Want Leash. And that that scatter the week was the reason they won that team fight. And with this extra 5 minutes, when we get towards more of these late game team fights, who do you favor in them?
If we get to more teams, I still think MonkeSports will be winning a lot of these team fights because they're just that far ahead with the right goals on the right champions.
It is 5k. That's a lot of gold in the pocket for sure. Down towards the bot lane, Trouble Bubble trying to make an outplay towards the Ezreal, but not finding any easy way in. That arcade shift, if you can't get the damage down straight away, he will just get himself out to safety. As I Want Leash, going to get themselves out, jumping in towards the back line, but do you want to be there? So scared of Patarina. Ultimate comes down from the Shen, finds themselves the first kill, but Patarina all alone, using the flash in the last play, finally got to get hooked by Geordie. Trouble Bubble trying to join the fight as well. Delph trying to walk away. Now it's maybe 1 versus 4, trying to get themselves out to safety. Too little, too late. He goes down. And MonkeSports having a great start to the fight. Bad middle game, but finishing it off with the win.
Yeah, this is one of the things with playing against Shen. Sometimes you just forget about it. You look for a pick on Syndra. Oh, she gets Shen ulted, and they engage onto you instead of the other way around. Great fear beyond that from Urgot.
Yeah, gonna go for the engage onto Delph, onto the support, flash away from safety, but they stopped the Baron. This is exactly what they want. They're not looking to fight here. They're just looking to keep them an arm's length. Gonna have the ultimate down from Trouble Bubble, but a huge EQ coming out from Hugh Lee, finding that kill, and now they can go back on the objective if they want.
Yeah, especially Syndra TPing in here. Syndra having Unleash power up.
Yeah, ultimate available. I Want Leash. Is he just randomly going to get ulted again? All they're trying to do is stop this objective, but it's so hard. You have the Syndra damage. You have the poke from this Ezreal, and they're constantly in this place of do we or don't we? But Skarner's available. They can't try to flip this.
They have vision on the Skarner, so they know when he's coming in. Okay, so Skarner can steal. Okay, wait.
Yeah, looking for this play. 6,000 already. A big engage coming out for Dell. Finding that 2-man ultimate. Geordie's ultimate is wide though. No fear available. Geordie gets the kill onto Pablo. Finds a stun on towards the support of Marathon. And this is looking like an ace coming out from the Assassin's Creed. Just an overstep from the Monkeys. They just tried to do too much. And Patarina, thinking that they're safe from the backline, not knowing the Trouble Bubble is here. And 1W from the Kaiser, gets themselves the Baron and gets themselves the team fight win.
Yeah, we can hand Baron a badge. He got 4 assists there. They just got torn to shreds by the Baron, and then Assassin's Creed could clean up, get the Baron themselves, close a lot of gold gap, and they're really, really back into this game. They have a really good chance of turning this around right now.
Yeah, with the Baron available, Dragon in 1 minute 15, it has to be the go for it. And that fight, you have to think about, did MonkeSports overstep? Was there an opportunity to find a reset their tempo? Because they took a fight. And it took enough time before the next fight for maybe to get back after dying and still be a major integral part to it.
I don't think they had the time to start that Baron. They
don't have
should have
early
just
damage.
Yeah, they should have just said, okay, we got poked out a bit. We got a kill for it instead. Because they killed someone before the Baron. It's like, okay, fine. We just take that, some free gold. We go set up another Baron next time. We look to pressure on waves. But now they just got wiped and they're gold down, actually, now.
You could see it with how these team fights are going and how this gold lead has started to build. Instead of MonkeSports getting up towards the 5k we saw earlier, it is now a gold lead for Assassin's Creed as they are all in this choke point. Skarner can find a big ultimate if he wants to, but it's so difficult to walk in. Ezreal and that start of the week as Pobla use the ultimate available. Meriton, ultimate as well. Locks onto the Kaiser by accident. I don't think he meant to be there. Stuns comes through and he is just taken down. Trouble Bubble nowhere near this fight. Jordy trying to come into the back line, but can they do everything? Can they do anything? As maybe, again, 3 versus 1, he's going to get taken out. He's meant to be the tankiest member. Jordy running for his life as well. Same with Trouble Bubble. But 2 versus 4, they need to try and find something, but yet again, they can't. And for the second time in a row, Monkey Esports stopping this dragon play.
This is the fights are really just swinging around in each other's face.
Yeah, it may not
Is
be
that
finished
fair
yet, though.
beyond death?
Katarina, ultimate available. Going to get put onto Jordy. Not enough damage, even with the ultimate. So going to just be able to get themselves to the objective. And anyone can take this game with these team fights.
Yeah, with how the team fights are going, this game is just undecided right now.
Yeah,
It-
super
it's-
intense, super close. But the big thing that happened in that team fight to talk about is Kaiser getting picked off. If Kaiser wasn't hit by that ultimate by Marathon, because he was clearly out of it, but of how difficult sometimes it is to see that ability, getting knocked by it was the reason they lost that team fight.
Yeah, losing your Kai'Sa that early in a team fight is just gonna lose you a team fight. Because Kai'Sa has, especially in this team comp, Kai'Sa has a lot of your damage, and Kai'Sa is really important for shredding the tank, shredding this Shen, getting through this Viego, actually, because Viego is just running over your team most of the time.
Baron
See that damage.
available as well. Well, Baron, sorry, was available for the side of Assassin's Creed, but they've absolutely done nothing with it. They tried to use the priority of that to get themselves Dragon, and losing that team fight means that they haven't got any objective, no real gold lead, and the gold lead has swung yet again. Was Monkey Esports' favor, but they have started up this Atakan, maybe trying to feel out, seeing if anybody's nearby, noticing that there is a response, going to be holding off for now. And these team fights are really going to be the make or break for this game.
Yeah, Stan United still being down is gonna be a thing for Assassin's Creed because now they actually have a window with Shen sometimes showing top here. Stan United
Teleport.
still down. They
It's
have to teleport
available.
him.
They know nobody's in this bush. Jordy is going to be the main focus here, but he is still pretty tanky with those 3 items. Every member locking on. Status Gauge getting used, but too little. He gets taken down, but Meritine slowly going to come afterwards. Ultimate used from, of course, the mid laner there. Patarina in towards the back line, but has a overstepped. 1 versus 3, he gets taken out. And now Kaiser trying to go for the outplays, knowing that he doesn't have to worry about any pesky ultimates onto him. He could just run down everybody. Sergio Ramos looking for the reset. He's able to do so on the Nautilus. Is he tanky enough? It seems to be so. No Q available, but he flashes forward, gets that kill. Trouble Bubble versus 2. No Atakan available to start because of it. Q coming through, doesn't finish off the kill. And yet again, another close team fight, but no real winners. As we see
Viego
another
in this
play.
team fight just getting all the.
Viego looking for the play. Trouble Bubble not knowing he's there, poking him back again. And I keep saying it, nobody's coming out of the victory just yet.
Yeah, in this team fights, we saw what happens when Kai'Sa doesn't die early. Kai'Sa's just gonna be doing a lot of damage, but then you have Viego just getting a reset after a reset after a reset after a reset, really just threatening your entire team with, okay, I'm gonna ace you if you don't watch out right now for me. Like, you need to get this Viego, but you also need to get this Syndra.
It's a really close game between both of them. Anyone can truly take this for the next objective. For the past 2 days, we tried to set up the scene of this is the one. This could be the make or break to see who wins this. Maybe it's the Baron, maybe it's the Atakan, but every single time, nobody's truly been able to hold this game, be able to take the victory by their hands. And this is so impressive, especially from the Monkey Esports team, a team that came into this known as a big underdog, somebody not expecting to take a single win, let alone go in 2-1 in this series so far.
I didn't know they were that big of an
Yes,
underdog.
hold up.
Oh, they're looking
Katarina.
for something?
Going to be able to use the flash there, might be able to get themselves up to safety. Stad United already used. Jordy tanky yet again, but no status gauge like the last play. Ultimate comes down, going to be able to get there, but Kai'Sa not able to hit just yet, waiting to see the CC come through. And all this time, maybe he's just getting hit, but somehow their Skarner is still alive, finally goes down. Merton using the W on towards Kai'Sa is going to be in danger here. Maritime not going down for his cinch just yet. Trouble Bubble, decent bit of damage onto Patarina. Remember, no ultimate available there. Gonna be able to stay away. 4 versus 3. Assassins and Greed still in the victory line. Should be able to get themselves a tower from this, but nobody going down too far. Monkey still holding on here.
Viego dying early in that fight really just. Ooh, that was what I wanted to see because Viego is just winning a lot of these team fights.
They need to find
Because-
a engage on towards a Kai'Sa. on towards maybe the mid lane or trouble bubble, but there's just no way of doing this. Sergio Ramos going to the back line, trying to have the Syndra find the reset as well, but we constantly see that they want to look onto Jordi, and the way he's built, got the Sterics, got the Jack Show, got themselves, of course, the Black Cleaver as well. That's a lot of inherently tanky stats you don't expect from an Urgot, so maybe they need to switch their targets in this next team fight.
Yeah, Urgot is not someone you can focus right now because they have three beefy boys, and you're not bursting fast enough through the three beefy boys. You need to get one pick on
Look at the
someone
HP.
who's.
You're not getting through him. Remember, Dragon's
Nah.
available now. Sorry to take the mic from you.
Oh, no,
Monkey
go for it.
Esports, can they get themselves in towards this game? Can they get themselves the third dragon stolen in a row? If they lose here, they get the soul. The soul is going to be lights out for the next sort of team fights. Meriton, ultimate in towards the back line. Flash on towards the AD carry. Dragons at the 3k HP mark. That is going to be the huge thing. Can they get the dragon? There is no Viego in sight. He's nowhere nearby, and it goes down, and the soul has finally been taken. Meriton is the only member dead, but they're looking for more. Three members running for the hills. Pablo's taken down. A flash forward from Mabel, but not finding anything from it. But Trouble Bubble with that teleport, trying to find the outplay here, but you just don't expect the damage. Sergio Ramos finding themselves the kill, but you have to say, Assassin's Creed coming out with the victory there, picking up themselves finally the dragon as third time's the charm.
Yeah, they get the dragon, but they cannot look for Baron in this situation because just they still have a
Might
lot of
need to hold
damage.
this.
Oh,
Sergio Ramos trying to go for this outplay. W forward, but Kaiser with the huge ultimate finding the disengage. Gets themselves the first kill. Should be able to pick up the second in just a second. And with these death timers coming through, Syndra being the only person alive, Pablo and Meriton up in 10 seconds. Are they looking for the end here? It's
I
looking
think
like
they can. Yeah, I think they
yeah,
can.
and it's looking pretty positive here. First engage going down, and Maritone just goes down without anything around there to help him. Two tanky boys left. Can they do anything? They need to clear this wave. Maybe a Shen Q, maybe a Maokai Q could do something, but I feel like it's just too little too late. Engage on towards the tanks. Can they do anything? All these health bars, they may be big, but how long can they last when you're not even focusing them? Maokai ultimate down, too little, too late. And with that, it is going to be a 4-0 day for the Assassin's Creed, as that was a fantastic, super close series.
Yeah, but to be fair, I really think that this game came down to a lot of just the wrong target selection from MonkeSports and good target selection from Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed was having okay, we need to pick off this champion right now, and they pick off those champions, or they try to focus those champions. Meanwhile, MonkeSports is just hitting the tanks, just hitting frontline. They're not winning by hitting the fucking frontline. Sorry for cursing.
It's all right. It's all right. After a game like that, we're allowed to have one or two. Hopefully, we won't get too screamed at by Linus in the background. But we need to focus on maybe the reason they did try and focus on the Urgot. Because let's say that they were able to find the one shot onto the Urgot that we all dreamed about, with, of course, the damage from the Syndra early into the game being 4-0. If that kill comes through, you turning towards that Urgot as the Viego, you just win the fight. You're too tanky, you deal too much damage, and you're just an incredible team fighting play. But of course, this wasn't their day. They weren't able to find it. And I feel like we need to kind of sing the praises of Assassin's Creed in that second game, because the first one, very dominant, find the 3-0 kill onto Trouble Bubble. But the way they came back from that 5,000 gold lead, how did they do
Beautiful.
it?
So the first thing that really happened with that big comeback was the Baron fight. Getting the like just wiping a team and getting that Baron already gave them a really big like swing back with gold. Then they got a few turrets. They got a K, 1K ahead, and then it was constantly back and forth between the two teams. And it's just at the end they got the soul, they got really good team fights, and they managed to swung the game back into their favor.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. Now, there's one thing before we have to close out today. Who's your MVP?
Hmm, that's actually a pretty hard one because game one the MVP was definitely the mid laner from the Assassin's Creed side, so it's Trouble Bubble. But I really think Yordi played both games very very well.
Couldn't
So
agree more.
I kind of have to give it to him. He wasn't the main carry, but he was playing the games very well.
Especially on that Urgot, being able to capitalize on when the Shen went down finding some place towards the top side. I definitely think the Geordie, at least for us, is the MVP. But of course, you guys matter as well. Make sure that you put in towards chat and, of course, in towards the Discord server some love towards these players. But Black Wolf, I think that's going to be it for us today. A massive thank you, of course, towards Linus doing everything in the background. Sanctuary League, it's a pleasure. We're on week 2. And a massive congratulations over towards the side of Assassin's and Creed being 4-0. Is there somebody who could take them out? Is there another team that's 4-0? Well, I can tell you the answer is yes and maybe, depending on the situation. But that's going to be it for us today. If you did enjoy the stream, make sure to catch us again for next week. As this has been me, Zapdos, this has been Black Wolf, and we are out for tonight. Have a wonderful night, guys.